without a trace. Nobody has seen Summer and Joseph McStay and their two adorable young children since they vanished from their California home 3 long months ago. Tonight, does a mystery map hold the clue to their disappearance? Joseph's brother says a waiter in Guerrero Negro, Mexico, in Baja, has come forward and says, "I waited on the family after they disappeared." He recognized the distinctive birthmark on the forehead right there. You see it? Of the youngest McStay. And he said the family left a map behind on the table. And he took the map and kept it. The waiter also says the dad, Joey McStay, you're looking at him right there, he looked, quote, ill and sick. The McStays left their home in a big rush 3 months ago. Fresh food left out on the table to rot. Their beloved dogs left outside in the yard with no food or water. Their family feared the worst. They'd all feared they'd been kidnapped. But then the McStays were allegedly spotted on surveillance video calmly walking across the border into Mexico. Was this seemingly normal family of four planning on vanishing? If so, why on earth would they do that? And will this mysterious map yield any clues? Wow, this is such a mystery. Straight out to my fantastic expert panel. HLN law enforcement analyst Mike Brooks, psychotherapist Stacey Kaiser back with us. Reporter with the San Diego Union Tribune, Leslie Beristain, who has broken a lot of stories on this case. But first out to investigative reporter Michelle Sagona. Michelle, you're on top of this. What is the very latest?
About 45 minutes ago, Jane, I spoke with San Diego County Sheriff Lieutenant Burgos, and he does confirm that he does have the map. It was sent to the lab, and either tomorrow or the next day, it will be run for fingerprints. Now, what's interesting is that Michael McStay, who's Joseph's brother, told me earlier today that because Joseph and his wife Summer are both realtors, that their fingerprints are actually in a California database. So it would be very easy if their fingerprints are on that map to be able to match them up. The lieutenant also told me that in the last 3 weeks, they have not had one new lead in this case. So thank you so much for being able to cover it.
Yeah, and this is a big lead.
It is a big lead. It's the biggest so far.
Come on, if they get their fingerprints on that map, that's game, set, match, at least determining that they're there.
And here's the thing, that the problem is that they were seen probably at the end of February, early March. It does help to close in the timeline, but it's not as recent as yesterday or last week. But it does help to fill in some of the pieces for sure.
Now, what is this waiter talking about when he said Joseph McStay, that's the dad, was acting ill and sick? Joey's brother, who's been here on our show Issues, says he could be referring to the vertigo symptoms Joey was having. What? Well, we had the brother on Issues, but this is the first time today that we're hearing about this. His brother never mentioned anything about vertigo before. Listen to this.
I originally thought that someone was holding them against their will, but there's been no ransom. So, and, for him to just up and run and not tell anybody, it would have to be something pretty heavy.
Joey's brother, Michael, now says, quote, in the last year, he'd been having these vertigo-type symptoms. He was in the hospital for a couple of weeks on February 4th. He was talking to my mother, and he had to pull over when he was driving home because he felt vertigo-type symptoms, end quote. Guess what, people? February 4th was the very last day this family was seen. Wow. Stacey, what do you make of that?
I definitely think it's fishy. I always say that people are either running to something or running from something. And the fact that their dog and their food was left behind isn't strange to me. They could have left that there to make it look like there was foul play when they were trying to get away quickly.
But the vertigo, I mean, you're the psychotherapist. I think those are good points, but what do you make of this whole vertigo symptom that we're just hearing about now?
Well, first of all, that could be a sign of somebody using drugs or alcohol. That also could be a sign of some sort of mental disorder that he's describing as dizziness.
Interesting. And of course, we don't want to put this family down. For all we know, they were kidnapped, but it's starting to look more and more like they left voluntarily. My big issue tonight, running from what? By all accounts, this was the perfect family. They even posted family videos on YouTube. Gotta check this out. Go, Chubba, go. All right, how happy they look but the McStay's computer shows they researched passport rules for traveling with children. They were possibly spotted on surveillance video crossing the border. Leslie Beristain, you're with the San Diego Tribune. You've broken a lot of the developments on this case. What do you make of this latest development of them showing up in Baja California, according to this waiter?
Well, it's being taken seriously enough to where we just ran a story today on SignOnSanDiego.com. Baja California State Police have dispatched 7 investigators to a town called El Rosario. It's not actually Guerrero Negro. It's to the north of Guerrero Negro. It's a small town on the main road, popular pit stop with travelers. There's a restaurant there, there's a gas station, and that's the town that investigators have gone to. They arrived last night. They're going to be there for a couple of days combing the area, knocking on doors. But the restaurant that they were supposed to have been seen at is a restaurant that I know well. It's right off the main road, very popular, again, with travelers going up and down that highway. So it's being taken seriously enough for that to warrant that kind of investigation. Now, also the spokesman for the state police mentioned that they are collaborating with the FBI on that investigation and are sharing any information, any evidence.
Can I ask you a question? I want to jump in, Leslie. How far from the U.S. border is this restaurant?
It's quite a haul. I would say it's a good 12-hour drive. It's 200 miles roughly. Yes, the line between north and south, Baja California Norte and Sur, is in Guerrero Negro. So this is about 200 miles to the north of that. It's quite a haul. It's a very small town.
Fascinating. Now, the family the McStays left behind are completely sick with worry. Listen to this.
We need to find them. I worry about those babies, and are they fed? Are they warm? Are they, happy? Are they fed? My nights are hell. You pray, and then you cry yourself to sleep.
There are so many unanswered questions, Mike Brooks, and the possibilities are really endless. I mean, we were today at the office thinking about, well, it could be this, it could be this. I mean, could Joseph McStay have been involved in some sort of shady business dealing? We know that he sometimes imported parts from Mexico for his fountain business. So I was thinking, well, what if some drugs were put in one of those fountains? But then it occurred to me, if you were fleeing from some Mexican drug dealers, you wouldn't go to Mexico. You'd probably go north to Canada to get away from them.
No, you wouldn't flee to Mexico to get away from anybody. That's for sure, Jane. But, the way the economy is, his business that he had, he's made waterfalls for houses, this kind of thing, maybe it wasn't doing well. And they didn't leave many clothes at all in the house. And that was another thing that I found, if they were just going to go out for a while and come back, they wouldn't have taken their clothes and most of their shoes.
It just doesn't add up, Michelle Sagona. They had no reports of financial problems and no reports of legal problems, except for the fact that the wife had a couple of names, which the family says is an innocent thing.
That's correct. She did have a couple of names, but they're not saying that. No one really thinks that is suspicious at all. In addition, Joseph's family, not just Michael, but all of his family and friends, I mean, they are scouring the area. They're passing out flyers. They are tracking down leads. They are pulling up phone records. This family is sick to death. And if the McStays are out there, if they are watching this, please just come back home.
Yes, come back home if you're out there, okay? We know this cable show goes to Mexico, so don't keep hiding. Fantastic guest.